it doesn't get clearer. We don't get a better picture of what interstellar object 3I Atlas really is, because it keeps adding mysteries and anomalies. So we have just had another anomaly, a very, very interesting one, that if you do the math according to statistic, it's very unlikely. What a coincidence, you would say. So watch my last video for that. And now it's time, because we have so many anomalies, that we list these anomalies. I've done that before, but we give them percentages. This is what Harvard professor Avi Loeb has done. He has organized the anomalies of interstellar object 3I Atlas by likelihood. Very, very interesting, guys. And a little bit scary, I have to say. He splits the anomalies into 3 categories. Category number 1, which we will start, is the major anomalies that have no simple explanation. They don't. Nobody can really explain it. Then we have the medium anomalies, category 2, which could be a statistical fluke. And then we have number 3, minor anomalies, which could potentially be explained by a unique origin of interstellar object 3I Atlas. 3I Atlas might be traveling through space for billions of years before our sun was even formed. So people might have sent it on its way to find out about probably Jupiter, because there was no life on Earth back then. So the likelihood that we will look at right now is basically, it's organized. How likely is this anomaly if the object were purely natural, right? Each anomaly has a probability, P. That means, how likely is this anomaly to happen by chance in a natural object? I don't want to be too technical, so I'll give you a percentage for each object. Major anomalies, extremely unlikely, no simple natural explanation. This group, the first group, these anomalies are so improbable that if 3I Atlas is natural, nature is behaving in extremely rare ways. Number 1, we've talked about this in my last video. I explained this to detail. The perigee distance exactly matches Jupiter's hill radius. So the percentage that this is happening is 0.0004%, a 4 in a 100,000 chance. I'll give you this explanation quickly again. If you want it more detailed, check out my last video. This one here that you see behind me, it's in the end screen at the end of this video. So what happened? 3I Atlas will pass Jupiter at a distance of 53,445 million kilometers on March 16th, 2026. And Jupiter's hill radius, this is the distance where Jupiter's gravity dominates, that is 53.502 million kilometers. These numbers are identical within the error margin. And it wasn't on that path before perihelion. That is the interesting thing. This match only occurred because 3I Atlas changed trajectory. It experienced a non-gravitational acceleration near perihelion, closest point to the sun, meaning something pushed it slightly. So it changed trajectory to meet that hill radius. Why is this so weird, guys? Because natural comets virtually never, ever fine-tune themselves to hit the exact boundary of Jupiter's gravitational sphere. And they don't do it exactly at that point in perihelion when we can't observe it from Earth, when we can't see what it is doing. That's why Avi Loeb says, wow, this could be a deliberate positioning if 3I Atlas intended to deploy devices or probes at Jupiter's stable Lagrange points, L1 and L2, where a satellite doesn't need almost no fuel to stay in its place. Very, very strange. For me, this is the strangest. Do coincidences like this exist? This is big. The second anomaly of group number 1. The arrival timing is strangely fine-tuned as well. I need some coffee, guys. This is, I don't know, groundbreaking, space-breaking. So that a natural comet would fine-tune its arrival timing. The percentage is 0.005%, so 5 in 100,000. So the object's timing brings it extremely close to Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, so that it could check out all 3 of them. And at the moment of its closest approach to the sun, the perihelion, it was perfectly hidden behind the sun, making it unobservable from the Earth. So perfect timing. Why is this unusual? A random interstellar comet shouldn't pass close to multiple planets and be hidden at the exact moment it might maneuver. You know what I'm hinting at? It is really strange. And that's why Avi Loeb criticized NASA's press conference, because they basically said, here are the high-rise images, this is just a normal comet, nothing else, nothing to see here. They haven't even addressed these anomalies. But everyone who can do the math, the public data is out there, do the math. This is really strange. Is this a coincidence? The third anomaly that is still in group number 1 is the mass and the frequency problem of 3I Atlas. What I'm about to describe now has a chance of less than 0.1%. So less than 1 in 1,000. 3I Atlas is huge. We only know 2 other interstellar objects. Atlas is the third. But Atlas is 1 million times more massive than the first one, 1I Oumuamua, and it's 1,000 times more massive than 2I Borisov. And it moves faster than both. So the problem with this is there simply isn't enough large debris in interstellar space to explain such a giant rock arriving once per decade into our solar system, into our inner solar system. We already had 2. So this could suggest that 3I Atlas may have targeted our solar system rather than having arrived randomly like the other 2. The fourth anomaly in group 1 is the jets. We've talked about the jets in the past videos, and that's really kind of strange. We had a sunward jet and a forward glowing plume. We talked about the forward glowing plume in one of my last videos because that got really interesting when the high-rise images were out. So the percentage that something like this happens is also smaller than 0.1%. Very small. Normal comets do not produce persistent jets that point towards the sun. Thousands of known comets that we know and have studied, they do exactly the opposite. But if we look at the high-rise images that were taken near Mars, they show a glow extending ahead of the objects like headlights of a car in the direction of motion, like a car. This is almost impossible to explain with natural ice sublimation. That's why Avi Loeb says, maybe we can just not scientifically explain it yet, but we also need to look at the other possibility. A technological craft might use a forward beam of light or particles to vaporize micrometeorites before they strike at 60 meters per second, which is extremely destructive. So you want to protect your spaceship. And we have a fifth anomaly in group number 1. So do you see something? This group is large. So it's not that we only have 1 or 2 in that biggest group, the most unlikely group, or that group that points to this is really unusual. We have now number 5, a strange chemical composition. It is nickel rich. For that to be a natural comet, to be that nickel rich, the percentage is less than 0.1%. The gas plume around 3I Atlas has much more nickel than iron. A nickel to cyanide ratio radically different from thousands of known comets. Nickel-rich material like this resembles industrial nickel alloys, not natural cometary chemistry. Can someone explain this? We have number 6. The retrograde orbit aligned with the planetary plane. Percentage is 0.2%, so 2 in 1,000. The object, interstellar object 3I Atlas, moves retrograde. That means opposite to the planets. But yet its plane is aligned within 5 degrees of the ecliptic. Really? The ecliptic, by the way, is the flat plane of our planetary system. A natural retrograde object would almost never align this precisely. This looks designed. NASA hasn't given any explanation. They just basically behave like that this is all BS. But, what do you think? I mean, we're really going through the math here. Does that sound so crazy? So let's go to group number 2, the group that could still be statistical flukes. And guys, here it gets really a little bit alienly. Let's talk about the WOW signal, WOW signal. It's one of the most famous and mysterious radio signals ever detected. On August 15th, 1977, a radio telescope in Ohio called the Big Ear suddenly picked up a very strong, very unusual radio signal that was coming from space. It lasted 72 seconds, never longer, never repeated. When astronomer Jerry Ehman saw the numbers printed on the computer data, he circled them and he wrote, "Wow!" exclamation mark. That handwritten "wow" became the name to the signal. Why was it special? Well, it came from space and not from Earth. That's point number 1, right? The telescope had 2 ears. The signal was only heard in one, meaning it didn't come from an Earth source like a plane, satellite, or radar. It came from the direction of Sagittarius, specifically near the star group Chi Sagittarii. It was one of the magic SETI frequencies, SETI frequencies, 1420 megahertz, the natural frequency of hydrogen, the most common element in the universe. This frequency is often suggested as a universal hailing channel, and it was extremely strong, much stronger than background noise, like a flashlight that is suddenly pointed right at you from across a dark field. Did it ever repeat again? No. Dozens of attempts were made to detect it again over decades. Technology got better, but it has never been seen again. This is the biggest mystery, guys. Possible explanations: natural phenomenon, a comet tail, natural hydrogen cloud, a one-time cosmic event, but none fully match the data, especially the narrow frequency. A human signal, very unlikely. The big ear system would have detected it in both channels. An extraterrestrial transmission, it's not proven, but also not ruled out. It remains one of the best candidates for a non-human signal ever recorded. Where does 3I Atlas come in? 3I Atlas arrived from almost the same direction as the WOW signal within 9 degrees. A probability that this could happen, 0.6% chance that this is a random coincidence. Nobody claims they are related, but it's interesting, isn't it? But that's why it's in group number 2. It could also be a coincidence. Of course you think like, yeah, it's strange, okay? I think it's strange, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. The second anomaly in group number 2, extremely negative polarization. Percentage that we have that in a natural comet is less than 1%. So the light polarization of 3I Atlas is unlike any other comet that we have ever studied, even 2I Borisov, and this may relate to the unusual anti-tail that 3I Atlas has shown. We've talked about this to great extent. Check my 3I Atlas playlist if you want to know more about this. Let's go to group number 3. And do you realize we have a lot in number 1, not in number 2? What are the minor anomalies? They could be natural, but very rare. Each of them has still a likelihood of less than 10% to happen naturally. It has only 4% water in its plume. The chance for that is less than 10%. Because solar system comets are full of water, much more than 4%. So this low water could mean 3I Atlas is a technological object that is just covered with interstellar dust and ice rather than a natural comet. Again, it could have been traveling for billions of years. The second anomaly in group number 3, it's extreme brightening and blue color near perihelion. Also less than 10% chance in a natural comet. It brightened faster than any comet ever recorded. The color was bluer than the sun. This could be an engine turning on. Number 3, unreasonably powerful jets for a natural comet. The jets require a surface area so large that no natural comet model fits the data. The jets are so large. 3I Atlas is not large enough for these jets that it shows, that are visible on these images. So they might come from thrusters instead of sublimating ice. We've also discussed this to great length, what is exactly happening. The fourth anomaly, the jet orientation stays stable over 1 million kilometers. How can that be if 3I Atlas is rotating once around its axis every 16 hours? So despite rotation, the jets remain perfectly aligned, guys. This could point again to technological control rather to random outgassing. And then number 5, non-gravitational acceleration with no breakup. It didn't break up after perihelion, but it should have shuddered. Also less than 10%. For a comet to accelerate like 3I Atlas did, it should have lost huge amounts of mass and it should have partially broken apart. But images show, we've talked about this, that it did not break up. The simplest explanation, an engine again, guys. So what is the combined probability if we combine all 3 groups together? Extremely small, that a natural comet would have all these anomalies. If these anomalies are independent, their combined probability is the product of their individual probabilities. So that means if something has a 0.004% chance and another one has a 0.005% chance, another one less than 0.1% chance, and another one 0.6% chance, the combined natural probability becomes effectively near zero. Likely, and now listen to this number, likely far less than 1 in trillions. And that's the point that Harvard professor Avi Loeb is making. All anomalies together make a natural explanation extremely improbable. So what is the explanation, guys? Avi Loeb's not saying, oh, this is Captain Kirk. No. But he says he's waiting for more data. He says he wants spectroscopic measurements of the jet speed, the jet composition. He says this will reveal whether the jets come from natural ice sublimation or technological thrusters. He says this measurement could be decisive. And he's waiting for that. He's hoping that they would get these data by December 19th. Guys, really, I want to hear what you think. And I hope you like this video. I hope you like this Atlas series that I'm producing. I have this playlist. Guys, hype the video, please. Share it with your friends. Like it. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by and staying till the end. Maybe you want to subscribe so that you don't miss a new video. And I would like to see you in one of the 4 videos that are in the end screen, because interesting stuff is going on. If you want to support the channel, fill me up with coffee. The link is in the description underneath the video player. Thank you for you supers. Hello to my members. Hello to my new members, to my old members. Thank you for supporting the channel. And click here, then I see you in a second and we discuss something very important, I promise.